It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. All of these big deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TGJ, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
In January of 2024, the prophet comedian Cat Williams went on to the popular podcast Club Shay Shay, where he unleashed a verbal firestorm against these cultural and entertainment and even political elite figures that he dubbed Big Dick Deviants. These figures were in various aspects of these fields of, the upper echelon, whether it's Hollywood, music, comedy, film. And he went on to say that these cultural elite, these so-called big dick deviants, were not, in fact, who they claimed to be. These people were not behind the scenes as they showed themselves to the public, to the cameras. Now, I don't think many people were surprised to hear that a lot of these, cultural and Hollywood elite types were not exactly who they lead themselves on to be. But the way that he unleashed this firestorm, the way that he talked about certain people and actually using names, which is breaking an old Hollywood code, right? We never use names in the press. We respect the professional code and we don't out other celebrities. Well, Mr. Williams apparently threw the code out the window, and over the course of this multi-hour podcast, he brought some truth to light. He brought a sense of, hey, this is happening, and these things, they're not only wrong, but they're going to come out into the public eye, because these people have lied, cheated, manipulated, committed crimes and then covered up their crimes and corruption with the darkness and hid it away. Since then, we have been on an almost unrelenting ride in the news cycle between the cultural big dick deviant elites of Hollywood, music, film and television, the political sphere, here in the United States of America and abroad. Since then, we have seen escalations in the political front involving Ukraine, Russia, Zelensky, Putin, Biden, into a new Trump era, Bibi Netanyahu, Israel, Hamas, Gaza. On the entertainment front, we saw on television the raiding of Puff Diddy Daddy's homes in both Miami and Los Angeles, and enough bottles of baby oil to, well, you can hear all about it in the trials that are being covered on YouTube currently. In December of 2024, we saw the filing of a complaint by one woman, Blake Lively, against a man that many in Hollywood did not actually know the name of, but many of the spiritual and wellness communities knew and respected very well. Mr. Justin Baldoni, of course. And that has been an ongoing saga of epic proportions. There are so many ins and outs of that one particular case, and why it is important not just to fans of film or to the spiritual and wellness communities, but why it is really important on the world map, on the big screen of our lives, considering false idols, considering what happens creatively behind the scenes of these endeavors that we pay our money to go and be a part of. right down to its David versus Goliath battle of good and evil. Weeks ago, speaking of the spiritual wellness communities, popular podcaster Avi Marcus drops a new podcast episode with his wife, another young lady, and his supposed teacher, if we can call him that. And over the course of 2.5 hours in that podcast, they go on to spin this tale of spiritual word salad jargon, trying to share to their fans and the public of their new relationship model and how it is actually an evolution of consciousness. The fallout from which was swift and sizable, as it should have been. We have been bombarded with the retrial of Karen Reed and the absolute corruption of this entire police force in the Northeast. It's almost exacerbating, frustrating, tiring to now see all of the ways that we have been lied to, manipulated, cheated. I mean, these are things that conspiracy theorists have been shouting for years now, but of course, we never know just how far down the well goes. I've had a couple of people ask me why I'm starting this series, because this channel is primarily a psychological and spiritual channel dealing with healing and the pursuit of peace and inner being. But the ultimate pursuit of that inner work is the outer life and what life looks like interpersonally in our communities and also nationally, internationally, globally, on the global stage. Justice does indeed start from within. But ultimately, it is going to the upper echelon. It is going to the highest realms of cultural being. And if we as a society are to not only sustain, but to actually consciously evolve and move forward together, progressively, as a group, as a people, as a species, then those shadows have to come to light. Just like we have to evolve consciously within ourselves. The subconscious has to be brought to the surface. Those shadows have to be brought up to the light so that the truth can heal and set free. And so the same as that is with us individually, as within, so without. If we are truly going through a cultural awakening, then this dark night will surely bring the collapse of our false idols. And that's exactly what we're seeing. And it's not over yet, not by a long shot. The dark night is long and dark, indeed. Long and dark as it may be, this is not a reason for us to despair. This is not a reason for us to lose hope. But actually, this is the very reason for us to rejoice in these tribulations, knowing that these tribulations are bringing justice by bringing the truth. It's not without its pain and suffering. Just as any great ego death we go through individually, there has to be one on the massive scale, because just as there is a collective conscious, there is a collective unconscious, just as there is a collective spiritual nature about human beings, we also have a collective egoic consciousness. And we're going to continue to see these things take place, rise, fall, come to the forefront. Corruption being finally brought out to the public eye. We're going to see giants tumble. We're going to see people that we love and respected show a side of who they really are. We're going to see that all the ways that we think we're divided in gender, race, orientation, class, that really the one dividing line that has separated all along is that between the light in the dark. And the darkness shall not prevail, because the darkness ultimately is not real. The darkness is only the absence of the light. So in that honor, I have decided to start this new series about what is happening on the national and international stages as we collectively go through a healing process as a species, and of course, individually. So, we'll be taking our psycho-spiritual lens and looking into each of these stories, not just merely reporting what's happening, but looking at them through this different lens, the psychological, spiritual, philosophical, what it means in the bigger thought spaces of who we are as a people and where we're going. What it means to actually live a life of peace, of liberty, freedom. What it means to live justly in what seemingly appears to be an unjust world. But it only appears to be. The darkness shall not prevail. So join me on this little video journey, an odyssey where we look at the morally bankrupt, the spiritually fraudulent, and other so-called big dick deviants. Here on Justice for All. I am Aaron Justice. We'll see you in the next one.